slots which you have to use. So we saw yesterday Van Ginkel and Davenport walking around the locker room, seemed fine, obviously, just in terms of their gait. Are any of those guys, or Ledbetter, physically able to practice yet, where you just don't want to make a decision yet on which two guys are going to activate, or are none of them physically able to practice yet?
I guess my first thought is their gait in the locker room won't really give you. That's not the barometer we're looking for. That's not really something I'm pinpointing as far as whether or not they're going to get back to practice.
Exactly.
But all those guys you mentioned, they're working well. We're actually going to bring Davenport. He's going to practice today, and that'll just start the clock. And we'll just see how this works. Obviously, like you said, we only have two guys we can bring back. So Julian will be out there today. We're excited to get him back out there. He's been working, as hard as anyone from a rehab standpoint, from a training standpoint. Wants to get out there. We know that there'll be some rust from not being in practice for a long period of time. So try to knock some of that off and get them going. As far as the other guys, they're still working their way back. Maybe if you see him jogging in the locker room, that'll give you a little better barometer. But
I wanted to ask you about X as well. Just what the thinking was in that decision to shut him down from here.
We just felt like that was the best decision for X. He's been dealing with the knee for some time, and it's something that thinking long term and his career and his future with this team. We just felt like that was the best move. Obviously, there was a lot of thought, a lot of conversation, and we just felt like that was the best thing for him and for this team.
I know he's eligible, I think, for like the last game or two of the season.
We'll see how that goes. Look, anytime you can play, that helps. The team, that helps your confidence, that helps. Getting back into a football environment, that's always good. But we're going to obviously take a long-term approach and a long-term thought and vision on it. So I'm not ruling anything out, but we're going to do what's best for X in this team, in this organization.
I guess X has had some knee injuries in the past and scopes and surgeries. You guys talk in-house about that and sort of his long-term viability?
Yeah, we talk about past injuries. That's just a small part of the evaluation of each player. So again, obviously, whether performance on the field, production, injury history, the way they communicate. There's a kind of litany of things we talk about when we evaluate each player. Injury history is obviously a part of that. So, that's part of the evaluation and part of what goes into our decision making. In this case, to put a player on IR, to bring a player back, to sign a player, not sign a player. It's all part of that process, and we try to take a thorough approach, and we do that in all cases.
Well, staying on the corners, how is Ken Webster? What's his outlook for this week?
Ken, he's dealing with it. Look, he's doing everything he can to get back. I think in a lot of ways we with him and along with some other guys we got to kind of hold them back from themselves in some cases. So we'll see. He'll be it'll be close. It'll be close with Ken. So but he's doing everything possible to get out there.
X requires surgery at some point, and do you think by shutting him down now kind of eases any concern in the future?
I'm not going to divulge any medical information on our guys. I think everything's on the table. It's things we discuss as an organization. I've had conversations with him, but those are kind of internal discussions, I should say. We'll do what's best for X. X will do what's best for himself. We're all kind of a part of that. There's a few different routes we can go, and at the end of the day, his long-term, there's a long-term vision in place on really him and really all players.
Coach, you brought Clive Walford back yesterday. What sort of role do you see him having this weekend against the Jets?
Well, Clive, I thought he had a really good preseason. Really happy with how he played then and practiced, and the type of player he was, the type of what he brought to this team. Then he got injured, so that was unfortunate. So his role is going to be what he makes it, and that's the case for every player. So he's got a couple days here of practice. We had a walkthrough yesterday, so we'll practice today, and he goes out there and has a good practice. Then we'll talk more about his role. He doesn't, and we'll talk more about his role then too. So,
what are his biggest assets that he brings?
He's a tough kid. Football is very important to him. He's obviously got length and speed and catches the ball well. He's a good player.
Ron, you had mentioned a minute ago, X will do what's best for himself, which is what you would expect, I think, of any player, really.
Mm-hmm.
But philosophically speaking, and not just about X, how do you feel about players getting a second opinion away from team doctors?
Well, I think that's the right thing to do. I think the first thing that comes to mind is, I've got family members who've, been sick or, you get a second opinion. That's what you do. I think it's, the right approach to make sure you're doing everything, taking every step to make the right decision for yourself, your family, and your personal well-being. So I have no issue with that. I think players should take advantage of that. I think that's a smart thing to do, and it's not just in this instance because it's an injury. Any sickness, any illness, any situation where you can get a second opinion, a second set of eyes on it. I think you should do that. I know I do that. From a football standpoint, am I looking at this correctly? Does somebody see something else that I'm not seeing? I think that's how you should approach really any decision, specifically any big decision. That's just my personal opinion on that.
In terms of NFL starts, Ken Crawley is suddenly your most experienced healthy corner. Did you all sign in purely for depth, or did you sign in thinking if he practices well, he could play a lot for us?
Experienced in that he's been in this league, but to go into a new system, it's brand new. So from that standpoint, yeah, he's played games. We like what we've seen from him. That's why we claimed him. But like anyone else going into a new environment, I'm sure he doesn't even know where the practice field is. Somebody's going to have to walk him out there. So, experience. He's got experience, but in this system, in this building, he's going to have to, find his way. I have confidence that he'll be able to do that. But this isn't a, we'll see what it looks like in practice today. Obviously, we brought him here because we feel like he can help this team. But I know and understand that it takes a little bit of time. So.
How important is it for you to have players in your secondary stay with the team and learn your system at least 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons to really hone the defense?
In a perfect world, that's the way it is. Unfortunately, this isn't a perfect world, and people get injured. Moves are made, and it's our job as coaches to get coach the guys we have here, and if we get new guys, we got to get them on board and get them up to speed as quickly as possible. But yeah, in a perfect world, yeah, there's continuity. There's you got a team with guys who've been on the team for 4 or 5 years, and they know what you're going to say before you say it. Yeah, that would be great. It's not the case. In this league because there's so much movement, there's so much transition year to year. But that's part of the challenge, and it's part of the challenge of coaching. So I enjoy that.
With guys like Flores, Lamons, and Stephen Parker, Ramos, these guys that you brought on this season, have you seen anything in there?
You don't know these guys by heart yet? Yeah, okay, good. Man, I'm pretty good. I can get them all. Yeah.
With those guys in your secondary, have you seen some play and some signs there that these guys can be part of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes time, and you can see things that we said in week 1 or in the preseason that you felt like you weren't sure if, they fully understood it. They understand some of those things now, and those light bulb moments that you have in week 2, week 3, you're starting to see it show up in games. Not as much as we want, obviously, but I think over time, that continuity, it'll show itself more consistently than it has. But it takes time, and it's one of those things where I think the guys you mentioned, Wilts, Lamons, Ryan Lewis, guys like that who have only been here a couple weeks, couple months, however long it's been. I think they grow within the system. They help each other with the communication, and they start to see how everything kind of fits. So I've seen improvement for sure.
Ryan,
Go ahead, Boo.
no, I was going to ask you about Patrick Laird, and you would assess his progress through the season, and are you getting close to the point where you might want to see what he can do on offense?
I think Patrick's done a good job. I think, I come in, Tuesday mornings, it's their day off, and he's in there getting a workout, getting a lift, watching film. So he's doing a lot of the things, a lot of the right things, I would say, from a preparation standpoint, from a preparation standpoint. He's doing a lot of good things, and he's showing up in the kicking game for us. And he did a good job, in the out of the backfield in preseason, and I think he'll be ready if we call his number, and he's always ready. So again, as the season progresses, if he does get an opportunity on offense, then he's just got to take advantage of it. And I think he's doing everything possible to take advantage of it. That to me, that process is very important. So.